What is wrong with this boy? Welcome back to the Words from the Nerds podcast. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Where do I start today? Well, let's get the rigmarole out of the way. How about that? Of course, if this is your first time with us, we're the Words from the Nerds podcast. We love to talk about all things nerdy news, nerdy opinions, nerdy discussions. And here today, we got a little bit of a tiny one for you. We're trying to crunch back down because if you guys were here for episode 94, holy cow, that was our longest episode yet. So, but I know some of you guys like the longer episodes, but we want to experiment a little bit and see what works best for everybody. But with that being said, of course, as some of you might know, if you leave us a comment on YouTube every week, we will at the beginning of every episode, we will read it aloud, no matter what it says. We will read it aloud. I promise you. When I say no matter what it says, no matter what it says. So do what you want, all right? But this week we do have a comment from our lovely repeat commenter and listener and watcher, Brandon B. Woody. And it warms my heart, man. It warms my heart whenever he leaves a comment that isn't directed at something I said and trashing on the stupid animated Spider-Man show and anything like that. But this time, it just felt so good. I felt so good reading this one. It says, and keep in mind, guys, old Benji boy has not heard this one yet.
No.
Also, I guess I didn't even introduce my two co-hosts, Aiden and Ben. You guys know them, whatever. But here's the comment. Brandon said, I'm really excited for F1, but switching that for Superman feels like a bigger risk than Superman. Joseph Kosinski is a wild card director, and the writer isn't great. I really hope F1 is great. And then in parentheses, there's even early screenings, so I'm sure it will be. And then he continues to say, but it feels like a bigger risk. Benjamin, do you have anything to say in defense of your pick? Anything further to say in defense of your F1 pick? With
all that I have for a defense is there's a lot of power behind the Zack Snyder fandom, and I think that swing will be larger than what could potentially happen with a slightly worse Joseph Kosinski movie. So we'll see. And the good thing is they come out 2 weeks apart from one another. Like we get F1, 2 weeks later we get Superman. So even if it nets me 1 extra point, 2 extra points, I will be grateful that I swapped it out. So I could understand that you could be concerned either way, but I think I've just come to terms with Superman, like it could not hit. So I don't know. That it just felt like a safer play. To me. But I am definitely hoping that Joseph Kosinski is working on the same level that he was during Top Gun Maverick. But I understand the concern. I get it. That doesn't I don't even feel like that's that negative towards me.
No, it's not. We were hyping it up to scare you.
If anything, it would have made more sense if Brandon was hating on my F1 pick because there was an even better pick later in the year or something like that that was more obvious. And maybe he does have that opinion. So it doesn't seem like he was saying that it was necessarily a bad pick. It's just the fact that he thinks it's risky. But so is Superman. I feel a little more comfortable with F1.
Okay, all right.
I and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna push a little bit against Brandon. I would also feel more comfortable with F1 than I would with Superman. And whenever I saw him that next night, and I told him, or he told me that he was unsure about the F1 pick, even I was like, what? Really? Like, I think it's a solid pick. So I guess time will tell.
I think it's a solid pick. Yeah, all right, buddy.
Hey, anytime we
you
talk
focus
about
on your own list, bro? How about that? How about that?
anytime we talk about a list update, my turn to talk, buddy. Sorry. Anytime we talk about a list update, you and your 0 points just stay away.
Oh, dude, you got 2 points for Mickey 17, buddy boy.
And
Shut
that's
up.
2 more than The Last of Us. Oh, feels beautiful. 2 more than The Last of Us. I can say all my projects are net positive. Can you? And that's how you silence a host.
I got nothing to say to you, boy. Just sit in your little corner over there, all right?
Happily.
But of course, I have to ask these two stupid individuals how they're doing and how their past couple days have been, because we're only not even a week removed from the last time we sat here and recorded that 3.5-hour episode. So let's start with.
I was gonna say you could start with me. That way Ben can transition into his movie.
I didn't want to do that. I'm sorry.
Hey.
Co-host? You could co-host, right?
Good hosting. It's good hosting. It's good hosting.
Right?
So.
All right. I forgot what happens when you host. We end up with a 3.5-hour episode. Oh, my bad, bro. My bad, dog.
That was Ben. That was Ben.
Was it Ben? Oh, yeah, it was Ben.
I was just staying silent. I wasn't gonna man up to that.
Okay, then fine. Aiden, how are you doing, pal? How are you doing? Huh?
Thank you for asking. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Of course.
I've been good. You know, we are we're creeping up on a week exactly away from the wedding. So you know, last minute flying around everywhere. It's been nice. It's been fun. Had the rest of today off. Was supposed to close. Ended up turning into an open. So we're able to get in here a lot early. It's really weird sitting here doing this when the sun is still out. It feels really odd and awkward. I remember Charlie, we used to always go at night, but there was even like one episode where we went at like 1:00 in the afternoon. I think it was like a Miss Marvel episode. And I looked at, oh man, I don't know how we, one, talk about Miss Marvel. Two, I don't know like how we just recorded in broad daylight. I don't know that feels good.
Bro, your mic sounds like you're underwater, Aiden.
It's been doing that. I listened to one of our last episodes, and for like a solid 30 seconds, I was talking like I was underwater. I don't know what it is. And I feel like every time that happens, y'all's mics get like super amplified to me. So who knows? Anyways, that's fun. Always fun dealing with mic problems. Other than that, I'm great. I'm ready to talk about today's episode and get into all of this fun news.
Yeah. Benji, on to you, pal. How are you been?
I'm doing well. Feel like my load has lightened a little bit just with my class ending and or ending, just because I was 3 episodes a week. Feel like we're getting to a good summer season, so that's really exciting. Feel like the schedule is opening, which is good because I want to fill it with some more things that I've been putting off. I want to start The Bear, which I plan to do either tonight or tomorrow.
Cap.
All right, I'm just not going to tell you when I watch it then. You know, you won't know my thoughts. And
I don't want to know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts when you're on the podcast so we can get it recorded and we can refer back to it. This guy, Aiden. That's crazy.
This feels like manipulation, not co-hosting. You know, I don't feel like we're giving equal parts here. Okay.
Hey, man, I'm not even going to get...
Hey, can you silence this boy, please?
Oh, my God. Look at you. Run to Daddy Aiden. Oh, my God, Daddy Aiden, please mute his mic. Because you don't have any powers.
Anyways, so that's been good. Just with my schedule freeing up, want to watch The Bear. Also, I've been working on a YouTube video script, which...
No way.
That's been a bit, but it really is just, like having my schedule freed up is feeling like I want to tackle some of these things and do some more stuff that I've been neglecting a little bit. And also with our shows slowing down, but then movies picking up, you know, I'm just really excited for what this summer has to offer. Lots of big, exciting things. But I've been doing well this past week. I was able to catch a movie on Friday and Saturday, which I haven't gone to like it wasn't a double feature, but I haven't even done like a duo movie weekend, and it feels like a long time. So it's kind of weird going back to back days. On Friday, I watched Clown in a Cornfield, which is a new kind of indie horror slasher released by a studio that doesn't do a lot of big releases. It's kind of like what A24 was very early on in their days, where it was unknown indie movies, and then at some point they had something gain a little bit more traction. So I heard this was like by far their biggest opening for a movie ever, and has been doing
I
really
didn't know
well
that.
at the box office in comparison to what they typically do, and just doing quite well compared to its budget and whatnot. So, nice little indie horror slasher film that I wanted to check out. The trailer was like kind of interesting. It was kind of like a horror comedy that leaned a lot into like Gen Z specifically. The movie itself was fine, pretty like straight and narrow horror slasher. They try and lean into some of like the storylines and dynamics and make things more interesting, but it becomes really predictable because it kind of uses tropes that have been played out in other movies before. But it is like fairly entertaining and keeps a pretty good pace, and the horror elements and the kills and whatnot are done very well, even just for the budget, which I think was only like $1 million. um
Hmm.
it looks really good, and the special effects and whatnot are really good. So it was a fun time. There was some really funny, just like complete crash out moments in the movie. But other than that, it's not a great movie. I don't regret going. Like it was good to watch it with an audience and kind of laugh at certain moments. But other than that, it wasn't anything too crazy. And then on Saturday, well, I guess I should give Clown in a Cornfield a rating. I gave it a 2.5 star out of 5 star, so about a 5 out of 10. And then on Saturday, I watched Fight or Flight, which is a new action movie. I don't know if the director is like super well known, but it stars Josh Hartnett, who, as we know, starred in the hit movie, the best movie of last year, um, with Trap, of course. And the director, James Madigan, I don't actually know what he has done before. But
Doesn't sound familiar to me either.
yeah, I don't recognize the name automatically. But oh, interesting. So he's been like a second unit director on other movies. He used to be a visual effects artist on a bunch of stuff. He worked on Iron Man 2 as a visual effects artist. He was a second unit director, which is basically like they do a lot of the action and stunt set pieces and whatnot. He did that for the newest Transformers, for Snake Eyes, the Meg, the Divergent movies, stuff like that. So that's interesting. He's kind of shifted into doing more directing after being involved in other stuff. Anyways, so it's an action movie, exactly what you would expect. Like the trailer presents it. It's literally just Josh Hartnett is this really talented assassin, and he's on a plane, and there's a bunch of other assassins, and there's like this really clear through line that ends up connecting everyone and keeps the pace going and keeps like each dynamic rolling one after another after another after another. And it kind of keeps up, and it doesn't let off the gas like at all. And there's some really cool action scenes within it. There's moments where it's a little shaky, but overall it's pretty good action. And it's just like enjoyable, very funny. They lean into the R rating, definitely. There's some ridiculous moments in it, like stuff that you're just like, there's no way that they actually just did this, with some of the action scenes. And then, most surprisingly, it basically ends where a sequel would start, and they don't shy away. Like they make it very clear. I don't think you guys care, and this isn't like a huge spoiler or anything, but literally like the final line of the movie is you're not dead, but we're not done. In the middle of like something new starting. And so it was really weird
Weird.
because like I thought the movie was basically over, and then it seemed like it was going to have this kind of scene, more emotional closing the chapter scene of the movie, but then that actually was just the start of something else, and it just cut off right away and cut to the credits. So I guess they're hoping that the movie does well enough to warrant a sequel at some point, which would be surprising, but I don't know. Maybe people will like it enough. It was overall just like the action was pretty good, but the storyline was pretty straightforward. So again, just like I was glad that I went, and it was an entertaining time, but it's nothing to write home about. So I went with a 3 stars out of 5 or a 6 out of 10. Just a solid action movie. I mean, when it comes to like pure action movies this year, it's better than some of the other ones, like the Havoc movie with Tom Hardy, or the new Ke Kwan movie, or the new Jason Statham movie. Like when it comes to these kind of B tier, very mid action movies, this was on the higher end of that, but still definitely nothing crazy.
It's a good thing you didn't put Havoc on your list. I know you said you mentioned doing that. It's at a 65 critic score and a 37 audience score.
What?
Man,
yeah. Talk about some Last of Us,
bro.
Talk about some Last of Us type
dream,
audience
bro.
score.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
that's cool. I actually really wanted to go check out Clown in a Cornfield, just because I had seen it pop up here and there, but I still didn't know anything about it at all. And I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Like maybe I should just go into this completely blind, like a horror movie in the middle of spring. Yeah, sure. That has to be amazing, right? So I thought about going and checking it out. I really did want to. It's on my list. I told you I have a list of honeymoon movies I wanted to just binge watch over the week vacation. Any of them that are streaming, I have a list of all streaming, and then I have some that are in theaters right now that hopefully, I mean, I'm really trying to make it to, but unfortunately, like my whole week next week is Tuesday through Thursday, and it's all like 12 to 9. So I'm like, cool, I can't see anything at all, which really sucks. But Clown in a Cornfield and Fight or Flight were 2 that were on my list. So I didn't expect them to be more than, what you rated them.
Yeah. Do you think that your plane that you'll have the ability to watch some new movies? Because like I was just on a plane, and they obviously have stuff streaming, and they had like 5 or 6 movies that were 2025 releases already on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My plan was to download as many as I could for the plane ride, and then watch the rest just, there. If my fiance falls asleep, which she always does, first and early, like just like catch a movie a night, 2 movies every now and then, whatever. So that was my plan, but I don't know. You know what they should do? They should put movie theater like movies that are in the theaters on planes, because like, what, you're gonna buy a whole plane ticket to watch a movie that's in theaters? If you're on a plane, boom, it's right there. Pay the theaters out. But yeah, that's the plan. I hope some 2025 releases are on the plane. Something I didn't download or maybe missed. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like that guy you said you were behind in you were in a plane and he was watching Madam Web.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell just a short story because I think this is funny. But last year on my bachelor party trip, my brother-in-law joked about like, "Oh, we should watch Anyone But You," and then it was on the plane, and he like jokingly started it, and I got a picture of him like kind of defending himself, like, "Oh no, you don't see this, you don't see this," and then we joked about it throughout the week, and so then this last vacation that I was just on a couple weeks ago, on the plane, somebody in front of me was watching Anyone But You, which I thought was funny. I still refuse to watch that movie. I will never.
Just been reduced down to a plane ride movie. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, just because I touched on this in a voice message that I sent to you guys earlier. Are you guys still planning on watching Final Destination Bloodlines?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
that's my plan too.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can try and find a little bit of room before. I genuinely was last night gonna go watch it at 10:30 in IMAX because I was like, oh my god, excuse me. I was like, oh, sick! I can go catch it in IMAX before Mission Impossible takes over, and then I could, instead of just watching it on digital, or in digital format, I can go catch it in IMAX because my fiance was going to be stuck at work until like 1 a.m. I was off at 9, and I was like, cool, I don't have to wake up early or nothing. I can just go home, change, and then go to the movie at 10:30. And then I got stuck on a open shift today, so I was like, okay, well that's out of the picture. I'll just go today after work, and then just things just literally every time I buy a ticket on AMC, and I have A-list, so I'm not like technically buying it. But every single time I buy a movie, something happens. Like I wanted to go see what was it? I wanted to go see Sinners in IMAX. And so I bought the ticket. That night we got like a tornado. Like tornado sirens were going off like that, like an hour before my showtime. And for the next like 2 hours, it was just like horrendous weather. And then last night I bought it. And not only did I get moved to an opening shift, but we got another tornado last night. And I was like, dude, what is going on? Every time I schedule a movie and I'm looking forward to it, a tornado comes. So I'm really hoping to catch it before we record next. But with wedding stuff coming up in a week, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I will check it out if you guys both do, so we could all talk about it next week. The only reason I wasn't going to is because I already had my other ones planned, and then figured, okay, you two would talk about it, and then I don't really have much of a reason to.
This lying ass boy.
No, it's true. Like
the whole time, every time we brought up the movie, he was like, "I'm not watching that trash. Like, man, there's just nothing to talk about."
No. The truth is,
this boy.
I still don't care that much about it. But if you guys are both watching it, then I'll watch it. I'll check it out.
Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe I'll believe that. Just like oh my gosh, I ruined it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I was going down. No, I was going. Hold on. I was going down a path that you would have laughed too, Aiden. All right, because this boy is not watching The Bear. I don't care what he says, bro. He's not watching The Bear.
It was a bear reference.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, no, it's over. It's done. It's done. It's done. But Speaking of The Bear, let's transition off of Ben's dumb movies that he watched because nobody cares to some rather great news, and not so much news as an actual first look, technically second look, I guess, because we had like a little teaser that actually dropped like a couple days ago for The Bear season 4, and. Well, I think I'll let Aiden take this one away, actually, because he seems to be higher on it than me. So go ahead, man.
God, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I thought the trailer was phenomenal. I mean, I was up. I thought it hit. What's crazy is I sent you the teaser of like literally like 4 2-second shots with like 4 lines of dialogue, and you're like, bro, oh my god, nah, we're up, bro, this shit's gonna hit. And then we get a whole 2.5 minute long trailer, and he's like, I think Aiden's more high on it. I'm like, I'm over here like, oh my god, we're so up, bro, this shit is fantastic. Because I mean, I thought it was a phenomenal trailer. I mean, it just it's so hard to like dance around spoilers, but like everything that happened in season 3, they are already showing progress and promise that this is not going to be a repeat of that. Like we already see an overarching story where I feel like season 3 was just like, kind of flatline, just nothing crazy or nothing new or nothing good happening throughout the entire season. But like this one,
you were higher on season 3 though, right? Like you liked season 3?
Yeah, I mean, I still like, I don't hate it as much as other people. I mean, like I see the craziest takes on it, but I can see where people come from. If you're like, I absolutely hate season 3, hey, I'm not gonna hold it against you. I get it. But like with this trailer, you can I don't know, like even the trailer has more structure than season 3 had. And so
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, man, I can buy in. I have a lot of faith because you start off with events that have happened in season 3, and then by the end of the trailer, and like you even have this middle part where you know we see everybody like stressed out or like people are slamming doors. But I mean, dude, I saw Carmi in a completely new light in this trailer, just in those little bits. Like I saw this fool smiling, bro. I didn't see that at all season 3. Like, what are we doing? Like it was so much. It just gave me so much season 2 feels like, especially with, you know, some stuff, Charlie, that, you know, some season 2 stuff in terms of characters that we see pop up. It's just like, man, you know, it's hard for me to not buy in and be like, maybe they heard you know, the backlash, and if they didn't, let's hope and maybe season 3 was just a build-up season, and season 4 is their true, like, all right, this is our landing point. We knew where we wanted to start. We know how we want to finish. Season 3 was getting us to that point. That's all the trailer really spoke to me. I could go into more detail, but I'd be getting into spoilers for Ben. But I liked it a lot, man. I loved it, actually. I thought it was such a good trailer. I had tears in my eyes. I feel like I'm so much more higher on this than anybody ever because I haven't seen any discourse on Twitter. It's just been like, I'm getting a lot of people that hate the facts and hate Claire, like hate them, think they shouldn't be in the show at all. And I had no idea that people felt that way. None.
I've known that for a little bit. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I'm seeing all this stuff, like people are picking stuff from the trailer and they're going ham on it. Ben, can you take your headset off for like just 30 seconds? It'll be quick. It'll be quick.
Okay.
It'll be quick. I'm sorry. Okay.
Why did he mute his mic?
I don't know.
It don't matter.
So I don't know. There's even a clip in the trailer where Carmi's like running down the steps and he's just like sprinting down the street, and people are like, I swear if he's going back to Claire, if he's running to Claire's apartment or something, I'm gonna hate this show. I'm gonna drop it. And people are like, no, he has to be going to Io. Like he has to be like he has to be going to Sydney, or he has to know that this is like Sydney's his one way out. And like they love them two together, and like that is their like shipping them.
Yeah, I don't get the Claire hate. I've never gotten it. It doesn't like
I don't either.
I think the actress is great, and I think that the little bit she had in season 2 was really good. I think it's just people more so like wanting him and Io to be a thing, him and Sydney to be a thing, than anything. So I don't know.
I had no idea people, but I was like seeing stuff like that. But and just real quick while we're still in like a little minor spoiler section, seeing Jess, and I forget his name, but seeing the crew from the other restaurant that Cousin working at the Bear. Oh my God. Like, is that not just like this worked in season 2? Let's bring them back.
I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited to see
I don't know, man. I'm trying to temper expectations, but you know, like even towards the end of the trailer where they're like, you know, we're a family, like even seeing Carmi be like, look, I don't want there to be chaos. Like I want this to work. And, you know, even seeing her confront him, she's confronting him, bro. Like that is what we
Sydney?
built up to all last season. And she's telling him like this, you can't run on chaos. And when you do, it comes out through your words and it comes out in the food. And like, just even that line, it's like, bro, we are getting stuff that we built up all last season to in the trailer. That's enough for me.
Yeah. And well, hold on. Because Hayden was on a yap fest over here. I couldn't jump in, bro. The only thing I want to say is I also, it seems like, oh my gosh, Jamie Lee Curtis, that's her name. She's gonna have. It looks like she's gonna have a much bigger place in this season. Like she looked like she was in multiple different places, popping up with Carmi, which I'm excited for that scene. And then it looks like she's gonna be around to like sit and talk with what do they call him? Is he uncle? I don't know. The guy who owns the
Yeah,
restaurant.
Uncle. I forget. I feel like it starts with a J, but I don't know.
Yeah. She looks like she's hanging out with him, and then also I think
Yeah.
she was somewhere else, one other place. But super excited for that too, because I think whenever, I mean, obviously, I think Jamie Lee Curtis is a great actress. I always think back to when I can never not think about her and the Oscars in 2022, and how she got the supporting actress role. But whatever.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. All right.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I there was something. Oh yeah. Whatever. It's minor. I'll even just tell you off camera.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a lot of why I am very hopeful for this season. And so I don't know. Take it away. I'm not gonna fight you on nothing, but I'm interested as to hearing why
This
you feel the way you do.
I just want to say also, this boy Ben freaks out having to take off his headset. He's had almost 4 years to watch this TV show, bro. Like, let's put that into perspective, man.
And it's probably the easiest TV show in the past 5 years to watch.
it's
Dude, that's why I'm starting tonight. Like, what do you mean?
All right.
But no, I didn't think it was bad or anything. No, yeah, and I had full body chills watching it. But my only point was because you were like the Bear season 4 trailer over this shit, and I was like, all right, bro, all right, calm your ass down, calm down, bro. That's why I didn't. I was like, I'm not gonna give him the satisfaction.
Bro, do you not always rage bait me? Like you do this
No,
thing.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Get this mid out of here. I'm like, oh, okay,
That's why I wasn't gonna give you a response. I was like, I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. But no, yeah, it was great trailer. I am eternally excited for it. Like, bro, I love, and don't worry, Ben, not a spoiler. I know how you are about spoilers. But I love at the end, bro, with Fack right there, and his brother is like, yeah, put your arms out like this and try to walk like a G, which it was in the little teaser thing, but it was so good. Try to walk like a G. So good,
dude.
bro.
I love the facts. I mean, I get comic relief. I get it. You know, like some people it's just not their cup of tea. But I've never had an issue, and my fiance loves them. Like she loves Neil so much, and so I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm like I said, delving back into all of these shows. Like I'm getting to the sides of Twitter that I feel like I'm not supposed to be on, like, you know, like the fan edit. I'm like, you know, I'm all for a great edit. I mean, you know, but I mean, the like, I don't know. I'm on a weird side of Twitter, and so I got to see the weird side of the Bear Twitter, and yeah, all of that stuff really surprised me today. But regardless, I don't know. I have a lot of faith. I mean, obviously, I hope it's good for my list, but even list aside, like, I just want this to be good. You know, they have the means to do so. They've done it twice before in the past. Let's just land the plane, you know, with this season. So I'm a huge fan of the trailer. I thought it was awesome. I'm really bummed out that you're not like giddy over the moon. I really thought you would. Like the whole time I was watching that, I was like, I gotta get to Charlie, bro. I gotta get to Charlie.
Well, truthfully, I think mostly it's just because season 3 was such a letdown for me. And like so now I'm super excited that it's back, of course, but like I'm also like cautious. I'm very cautious. Which I know is hard because like season 1 and 2 were good. So I know I'm not realistically, I'm not being very fair. Like season 1 and 2 were so damn good. And then I have one off season, and it wasn't even like a really bad season. It just was like it was pretty very pretty underwhelming. So I'm not being fair. Like it has a better track record of being good, but it's still just like, and that's why like I'd say I'm still very excited. It's just cautious, very cautious.
I mean, the two people that I've talked to this show about with you and Brandon both have the same sentiment with season 3 about like, yo, this shit was ass, bro. Like I am this, like, what are we doing? To where like I watched it and like, granted, I still don't think it was good, but I was a lot more fine with it, and I guess a lot more hopeful. Just like, okay, yeah, it didn't make sense, but it set up a lot of stuff that could be great. So season 4 is gonna bang. where y'all were probably like, I thought I needed it now. I thought I needed this season to also be good, and it could have been good, but it just wasn't. And I'm
There's
let
a lot
down
of
by
stuff
that.
I liked in season 3 too, like not spoilers, Ben. Like a lot of the cameos and stuff. Like I feel like there was a lot in season 3. There was a lot of cameos.
Oh, yeah.
Like dude, like I honestly, JC, I loved JC, bro. I thought JC was a perfect addition to.
Hold on.
I thought,
I want to make sure that's who I think it is, because like I said, I mean like a year removed from
yeah.
watching season 3.
I'm just I abbreviated so Benjamin wouldn't.
I
So
think I
Benjamin.
feel like I feel like I know. Is it in relation to Cousin?
The
Oh,
facts more than anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the big cameo in relation to Cousin's character.
Oh,
And-
okay, yeah, no.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that cameo. I mean, it's a perfect fact. It's a perfect fact.
Yeah. I thought
Yeah.
I really loved that a lot. So
Everyone wants to be a part of the bear. I mean, what can you say?
hey, dude, and honestly, I hope that there's more this season. I hope we get more because I think that they weren't like tasteless. Like as much as I didn't really enjoy season 3, like those cameos, I felt like they all had a place and
Yeah.
they weren't
We'll have to-
there for being their sake.
Yeah, when we get to any bear talk, if we have any more before covering the actual show, we'll have to see if we can predict some bear cameos and
Fire.
add whoever gets one right, add 2 points to their list.
That'd be so sick. I need to get so many to
You
make
get,
it for the last of us.
like 3 actors. We could come up, and after Ben watches it, we could come up with a list of 3 actors, and I'm sure one of us would get one. Like just with how season
Yeah.
2 went, I'm sure one of us could
Yeah.
get one. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll have to fit it in right the week before the bear or whatever. But yeah, awesome trailer. I'm super excited. Charlie, I know you're a lot more timid, but
I
I'm
wouldn't
just
be surprised
hoping.
if Pedro Pascal showed up. Truthfully, I mean, I think he was filming with Eben for Fantastic Four when they were filming this season.
Yeah. I'll have to look and see if like any directors or people working on the shows and episodes, and see if they have anyone that they did a project with like the year before or like something. We'll see. Maybe we could chop something up afterwards.
Yeah.
I get you're cautious. I'm also a little bit cautious. Probably a little bit more so than I'm letting on, just because it's on my list. But I'm excited. At the end of the day, it's the bear. I know I'm gonna get a text from you at least once throughout the 10 episodes where you're like, bro, episode blank, when blank happens, bro, that's the shit I need, bro. Because it happens every season. It's
Yeah.
one of those shows. So,
Dude. Oh my god. Oh man, you gotta let us know about season 2, bro. Oh my
Bro,
gosh.
when I was rewatching it with my fiance, that Forks episode, man, I cried even harder than the first time I watched it. I'm sitting there sobbing. I'm like, go, man.
Dude,
It's
it
great.
is so. Oh my god, bro! Both Forks, fishes, or just fish, and the finale, bro. Oh my gosh, it's like,
Yeah.
and that's like I believe no, because there's 10 episodes every season. I was gonna say that's like a 3-episode run too, where it's just like, oh my gosh, oh my
Yeah.
god. But yeah, great stuff. I don't want to get too into the weeds and geeking over it for Benjamin's
good.
sake, because I feel like now we've also, with how much we've talked about it, like we might have overhyped it for him. Like I think he'll still find it good, but I can see him coming out like, I mean, yeah, it was good, but like you guys are crazy.
No, you know what? I'm
All
gonna
right,
call
buddy.
it right now. I think he's gonna be a lot higher on it than you think he will be. I'm calling it.
I
think
think
he'll
he's
like
gonna
it a
be,
lot.
honestly though, season 3, I think he's gonna be the lowest of all of us.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, and like I said, bro, I get it. We're talking like he's not right there, like, able to give it- but like, I get it, man. And anyone that feels that way, I'm not gonna hold it against them.
Yeah, true. But on to our next piece of news to finish up with our bear talk, the bear talk. My bread and butter today, baby. My bread and butter today. It's not so much news. There's a little tiny bit of news, and it's more of a rumor. It's more of a rumor. And the big piece that I care about the most is a picture, but we cannot show the picture out of fear of being sniped off of the internet. So unfortunately, both audio and visual listeners will not be able to entice in that.
I forgot to send. Sorry, I forgot to send this to you.
No, you're fine. I was
done. I forgot to send this to you earlier because I saw that My Time to Shine Hello had had posted the picture, and I'm gonna see right now if they took it down or if they got sniped. And
I don't know about this picture at all. I just
Okay.
Oh, they didn't. So they didn't. They didn't
Okay,
get
then
taken down.
I have it right here. I'll show it.
Yeah,
I'll show
let's do it. Let's do it.
But okay, but let me talk about the news portion of it first, though.
Yeah.
So the news that is potentially coming out of Spider-Man 4, Brand New Day, is that I believe I of course didn't have it up here ready, but I think I know it off the top of my head. The rumor currently is that we are getting not only Scorpion finally is going to be showing up. Michael didn't say Michael Mando specifically, but if they don't bring Michael Mando back, come on, bro. Scorpion would be showing up. Tombstone would be showing up, and who was the third?
Boomerang.
Boomerang. That's why I don't remember. Boomerang. Okay, buddy. Yes, yeah, there was some kind of presentation, and this news came out of that, or somebody. I don't know if it's news because it wasn't like officially reported on, right?
It was a sizzle reel, is what I'm seeing.
Okay.
This Spider-Man Brand New Day will seemingly feature Scorpion, Tombstone, and Boomerang as villains. This is according to a sizzle reel shown at the Disney Blockbuster Consumer Products panel.
See, I find that so weird. Nobody from like Deadline or anybody was there. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter that much. Still great to hear. Still really cool to hear. Because I feel like if they can do it right? 3 villains that are all relatively like street level, quote unquote, like Scorpion is a little bit more fantastical, but he's still street level at the end of the day. He's just like a crazy suit that he has on, or it's like mended to his skin and whatnot. But I think that you could pull that if done well, you can really pull that off. But you also consider those 3 with the pretty apt and like a large quantity of rumors we've heard so far about Mr. Negative showing up. So, and I would imagine Mr. Negative is the sole focus of the movie villain wise. But we've also heard some rumors about a female villain potentially played by not Sadie Sink, but somebody else. I can't remember who. Oh, it was I think her name is Sarah Snook. She was in Succession.
Yes.
Fire show. You guys should watch Succession, by the way. Fantastic show.
I want to so bad,
dude. It's really good, bro. It's I don't think I'm quite as like high up as like everybody else is on it. Like it is like superb television, but I don't think I'm putting it up with like the greats. But
Brandon, really, I think is in the same boat as you. He has said a lot of the same things you're saying to me right now about the movie. Or about the show.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm looking at this is so off topic. I don't mean to derail, but I was looking at a tweet of Discussing Film talking about the Backrooms movie that A24 is doing.
Oh yeah,
with Kristen Milioti and I forget his name.
Chitwood, or something like that.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. He was Baron Mordo in Doctor Strange. But yeah, the Backrooms movie casted both of them. Kristen Milioti, my queen, dude, come on.
We're getting a Backrooms movie and a Skibbity toilet movie.
Okay.
Bro,
right. We don't got to talk about that news.
You know, what a time to be alive.
But yeah, that's if all of these characters are showing up, that's exciting to me in a way, but also worrisome, with everything else, with all the other rumors we've heard, which I'm sure they're mostly just rumors, and maybe that these characters are just going to be, which I would hate. I would actually really not like. I was about to say that they'd be in like some montage of Peter taking down these bad guys in one little go, like a 5-minute sequence or whatever. But if you relegate Scorpion to that after you gave him like a whole little bit of setup in Homecoming, like I'd be upset by that personally. Tombstone and Boomerang, different story, but yeah, I think that would upset me. But I'm excited to see these guys if this is true. But before I go show the picture, you guys can say your piece.
No, I agree. I think immediately when you brought up the villains, because like I said, I didn't keep up with any of this news today, so I didn't hear about this beforehand. But immediately I thought of Into the Spider-Verse, where they have even more villains, and they're all kind of street level. And it's not that each of them are like fleshed out a ton.
Sure.
But you flesh out the ones that people really care about, and you can still have the others in there for fun action scenes and little moments and whatnot. So if that's the approach, then it could work out really well. And especially if they do a more like street level grounded type of story, then these villains make a lot more sense.
You said especially
if they do
a, and I was like,
I
didn't think anybody heard me.
You guys are children.
I know I heard you. No, that's why I started smiling and shaking my head.
I know.
You said it. You did say it quiet though. You're like, doo. Stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Especially Michael Mando, my boy. Man,
no, he ain't your boy anymore, bro. I watched the show more recently than you. He ain't your boy. Just like Tony Dalton wasn't your boy.
Who told you to watch it?
Hey, it doesn't matter. I watched it most recently though. Who's
the only reason that you're popping when you see those actors come back up? Yeah, Tony Dalton, my boy. Michael Mando, my boy. Aiden, my boy. That's what you should be saying.
Listen, bro. Tony Dalton is going to be in the next Naughty Dog game. All right, so I would have been popping for him no matter what. All right, calm down.
That is actually pretty cool. We'll save that talk for when we get there. Yeah, I'd love to see Michael Mando teaming up with maybe a Mr. Negative, Michael Mando Scorpion and Mr. Negative team up. I agree with what both of y'all said, but regardless, the biggest takeaway from this is 2 words: street level. And so I'm very excited nonetheless, even just those little bits of news. I mean, that just tells me everything I need to expect from this movie. I feel like the more and more we get from it, the more I love it, except for maybe the filming in Europe and Morocco. I don't know how to feel about that just because I get instant flashbacks to Far From Home, but who knows? It could be, villain stuff.
I thought you liked Far From Home. I thought I was the only one who didn't.
I mean, I don't like love it, but I like it. I think the Mysterio stuff is carries a 75% of the movie for me. I also think that Mysterio sequence is like one of the coolest things in any Spider-Man movie ever. Anyways, the filming in Morocco and Europe, I mean, just to take Peter back out, that would be rough to take him back out of New York after everything that's happened. But regardless, and the Zendaya stuff. Bro, yeah, I'm good on that. Regardless, though, I feel like everything we keep learning about this movie gets me more and more excited and makes me, Ben, I don't know if you listened to the episode that you weren't on. It just keeps getting more clear and clear why this will be my absolute number 1 pick next year in the draft over the Odyssey.
I did listen to it and listen to you guys talk about all the picks that you were going to get before me because I wouldn't listen to the
episode. So, yes, I'm very excited. Everything we're hearing about this movie has me pumped.
Let me see this image, Charlie. You've been hyping it up too much. Yeah. I don't know what
I mean. Listen, it's because I just want you.
There's one huge change that I'm like seething at the mouth over, like just panting like a dog.
Bro, I mean, I'll say it when I show it here, but I just want to point out Benjamin has a Spider-Man shirt on, so let's just keep that in mind for however he reacts to this. All right, chat. Let's just remember that, okay? We'll find out if he's a real fan right now. Bang, baby, bang! Oh my gosh, I kid you not, I teared up. Staring at this image, man, I teared up. This is like I don't know if this is going to be the suit. Obviously, for audio listeners, the image I pulled up is a potential, hopefully rendering of what I assume Tom Holland's Spider-Man suit will look like in Spider-Man Brand New Day. It could not be that. It doesn't say Spider-Man Brand New Day. It just says Spider-Man, but it does have the same font that they use, or a similar font at least, that they used for Spider-Man when they revealed the title. The only, like, dude, if this is how it looks in live action, oh my gosh, bro. Because I gotta tell you, man, I'm so, like, I was so tired of the eyes and how they look like camera lenses.
Eyes, dude.
Yes,
they're big.
bro.
They made his eyes big, bro.
Dude,
we are up.
I love this so much, bro. I literally stared at it. I showed it to I on full nerd stuff, bro. I was sitting next to my girlfriend on my lunch, and I was like, dude, you just have to know that, like, how much this, like, it's nothing but how much it, like, just means to me. And, like, dude, it's insane. And obviously, if I'm hyping it up so much, and it might potentially not be the suit because it could just be a render for something else. Maybe they're, like, switching up the icon, the imagery that they're going to use for Spider-Man toys or something. I don't know. But if this is the suit, man, oh my gosh. But I also just don't have a ton of faith that they would. Dude, if this is the suit, this is the best live action Spider-Man suit. I'm saying it now. Like, that is crazy.
It's not ridiculous to say that.
I would say, like, I was going to say that only if it looks this good in the actual movie, because realistically, you could say that this could be like a semi-changed render of what the suit was at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. It's just that when you actually put that on the screen, it doesn't look this good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the problem, is can it actually translate well to looking good in a live action movie? And if they can match this, though,
dude,
that's a good suit.
This is so good, man. It's so good.
Dude,
I hope
Charlie,
it's not just some random render, bro.
You should have seen, as soon as you pulled the image up, you should have seen Ben's face. Like, he completely just, like, his whole face just dropped, and he was like, what? What? And he just, like, scooted up a little bit. He was like,
dude,
no
I
way.
literally...
He probably didn't. You didn't think? Did you think it was gonna be, like, as big as the suit? What did you think the image was, Ben?
And I had no clue, but I needed to look closer so I could look at some of the details of, like, how they did the lines and whatnot, just because I know that was a point of contention with some of the previous Tom Holland suits and whatnot.
For me as well, with the previous Tom Holland suits, the double line, I hated that, dude. Instead of just having one thick line, the double line, web lining, like, it was not good. It did not look good.
So I just needed a closer look. That's all. I just need a little closer look.
I mean, it is so fire. It is. I told Aiden, nah, I can't say that. I don't want to say that on the podcast. But it was.
It was. I'll say it for you.
It was not the most family friendly word, but oh man, this is amazing to me, and I sincerely hope that they're in their bag with this one, and this is what they do with this, because oh my goodness.
So what is this image even from?
It was shown, as far as the first image that Aiden sent me. This isn't the one that Aiden sent me of it. Actually, I can't. I think that one that Aiden sent me is still pulled up. I believe it was, like, part of a stock image. Yeah, here it is. This is the one that Aiden sent me the first time. I believe it was part of a stock image that was shown at that same place where the sizzle reel was showed off, that had its Scorpion and everything on it. So, and there's other, like, Sony properties to the right or something. Like, there's another movie here. And even earlier when I was... Moana. Okay, so, like, other Disney stuff. I saw a different one where it was Doctor Doom and it said Avengers beneath it. But the thing that has me worried is, like, that Doctor Doom one was very much just like a comic artist drawing of
like
Doctor
a product
Doom
placement type of thing.
Yeah, like, it definitely wasn't like a first
connection
look
to what Doom is in it, so here's Doom. He's going to be in the next Avengers.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like a first look at RDJ's Doom or anything like that.
Sure.
So like that aspect of it has me worried for this Spider-Man thing, but I've never seen this Spider-Man rendering anywhere. It doesn't look like it was drawn by a comic artist or anything. It looks like, if anything, it looks like something from concept art that maybe we've never seen before for like a past movie or something. Or a future movie.
And they've been taking the image down. Like I sent it to Charlie, and then he was just responding. He was like, "Oh, whatever you sent got taken down in like 6 minutes. That's crazy." So I sent him this screenshot, and he was like, "Oh my god, what is it?"
Dude, I was driving the forklift at work, bro. When I was, oh man, I shouldn't have been on my phone.
Yeah, are you certified, my guy?
You better hope nobody
lose that certification. Oh man,
man, we're so up.
Yeah, I could just geek about this all day, but it's time to move on to our other piece of potentially wonderful news. Not news, but thoughts and opinions on the newest episode of HBO's The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 6, titled The Price. Who do I want to start with?
I think you want to start with me.
I was gonna say I think every time we do The Last of Us, we want to start with Ben because like he's the one who has not experienced the story before.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Benj.
Yeah, and I think it will particularly pertain to this episode a little bit more than even in past episodes, just for the fact that like before I even saw the episode, like right when it dropped, I saw multiple tweets and retweets of like reviews talking about how like the show's worst habits are shown in this episode, and just like how they're translating the game into this show is just like showing just how poorly that they're adapting this section of the game. So it very much was set up as just like, this is going to be a rough episode. And then I watched the episode, and I'll just start off by saying I really enjoyed it way more than I did like the previous few weeks. This is like the best episode since the first 1.5 episodes, I guess we'll call it that. And there's lots that I really enjoyed. This is kind of what I was hoping for just in general, which was that we go back and we build and establish more of these relationships. And I like how they specifically handled it, where we go back even further with Joel and Tommy and then tie that into what is happening between Joel and Ellie. Are we just going to go full spoilers? Or are we?
Yeah. That's what I think that's the only course of action. Full spoilers for this episode of the TV show. There will not be spoilers, future spoilers for the game, at least as of right now. So if you guys are watching along like Benjamin and you haven't played the games, you're totally safe. But episode 6 spoilers.
Yes. So how they were doing those flashbacks and then the flashbacks within the flashbacks, basically, I thought was handled really well, kind of the back and forth dynamic. I do think that just as a whole, like stepping back and looking at the episode, we still didn't get enough of the relationship and the dynamic between Joel and Ellie for me to care as much as I want to. Like it's a hint of what I want, but really I just want more of that to build on their storyline. And I want that more than I wanted the past 3 episodes of Ellie and Dina and whatnot. Like that's what I care about a lot more. And it seems like, at least from the vibes that I got and how they structured it, that flashback wise, like this is a lot of what we're getting, because they showed us a little bit and then went months later, a year later or whatever. And then they kept doing that. And so it doesn't feel like we're going to revisit any of that or build any more of that foundation. It kind of feels like that's what we got. And so I still kind of feel similar in that I want more of that, but I'm at least happy with what we got. Going into like more specifics about the things that I enjoyed within it, the specific line of, I hope you do a little better than me. That's like, it's a great line. I'm sure you guys can provide context for this porch scene that people are saying is really misrepresented compared to the game.
I thought you were going to say that. Just to interrupt you, so I thought you were going to say the line, and
Me
the
too.
line that's not in the game. Yeah, that's not in the game. So
Joel's dad.
I hope you do a little better
none
than
of
me. Is
that.
not in
yeah,
the game.
Yeah.
nope, not in the
Oh.
game. That
And
whole
all
thing,
the-
that whole thing with
Yeah.
Joel's dad is not in the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that it felt helpful and just like building that foundation of why Joel and Ellie had their kind of falling out and the relationship that they did. Obviously, they took it like to a pretty far extreme with Joel and his past and Tommy and whatnot. And like in a weird way, it almost kind of downplays Ellie's reaction to Joel. And in some regard, I do agree with that. Like after watching the episode, I was just like, I don't really understand what Joel did that was too crazy. Like, I don't know if I'm wrong, but she was like, Ellie was being super rebellious and was just blatantly going against their rules. And even like when they were doing patrol together, like, dude, first of all, you have rules that you have to follow, and Joel is just trying to follow those rules. And if I was out with somebody and they wanted to blatantly break those rules and then they get mad at you, they'd never go on patrol again. You have the rules for a reason. That just makes sense to me. And then when she tattles on him, I'd be pissed. Like what? That genuinely, I was just like, I know she's about to say something. Like I know that she's going to tell the truth.
Love it.
I
love it.
But and in that regard, I'm like on Joel's side actually with their falling out in a way. Like I can understand that as a 15, 16-year-old that she would not be very happy that her essentially father is pushing back on her in these certain ways. But in my opinion, most of those things are very reasonable things to try and push back on and set boundaries on and have those discussions. Like,
oh no,
we could talk about the specifics within that.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, I more understand Joel's position as a parent than I do her position as a rebellious child trying to push back on those things. And,
Interesting.
you know,
Oh my god,
that's not
it's gonna be a great discussion. Like it's gonna be a great discussion.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm gonna say.
That's not for every single like thing that happens or that Ellie does. That's not for every single thing. But just as a whole, I was getting that vibe of just like by the end, if this is all we're getting for flashback up until, you know, the dance scene where we got a little bit more context, we got to see that the perspective of Joel leading up to that moment. Then if that's all we're getting, like I don't fully understand why Ellie has so much resentment towards Joel and why they fell off so incredibly hard. And to me, like it seems like it's mostly on her. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, hold on. He just doesn't under. I understand where he's getting confused, but I want you to finish, Ben.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say. But as a whole, like like I said, I liked this episode more than the previous ones, mainly for the fact that what I cared about is Joel and Ellie, and I feel like I was a bit robbed of that after episode 2. And so I'm glad we're going back, but I feel like the damage is kind of already done when you spend half of your episode so far focusing on Ellie and Dina, and I just like struggled to care about that for half of your season. And so this episode is like fine in a vacuum, but in the context of the show, like it's not saving it. And I don't really know where you go from here after you've built these things up. I don't know how you tie that back in a way that's super relevant. So I enjoyed it overall, but there were definitely some things where I was just like, I wish we had gotten some of this sooner. And then also just in general, yeah, I blame Ellie for a lot of it. I don't know. She just seems kind of awful. Like, I'm sorry.
That's great.
I'll leave it at that.
I'll go second just to give my thoughts, and then Charlie, I'll let you combat him.
Sure.
And not combat him, but like
yeah.
hash it out. I just want to start this off by saying, discussing film. What the fuck are you
Yeah,
talking
bro.
about, man?
Yeah,
you are
bro.
tripping. You are smoking something crazy. Talking
Yeah.
about it worse. They did it worse. They did the porch scene worse. Excuse me. That they heightened it by a million. Every change in this episode, maybe not every, but I'm over exaggerating, but you get me. Almost every single change in this episode was everything I wanted from a change in the season. If you're going to change the story up, if you're going to throw new things in there, if you're going to not do a one-to-one adaptation, these are the changes that I wanted. Joel saying, I love you. Joel never tells her that I love you in that porch scene. Ellie calling him selfish. Ellie never calls him selfish during the porch scene. But those things heighten it because their looks, like they're saying it with their looks. And of course, Ellie has her gripes with Joel because of everything that he did. And I think Bella Ramsey knocked it out of the freaking park in that scene. And her just telling him, like, I was supposed to die on that table. My immunity was supposed to mean something. And Joel just saying, I'll do it all over again. She's like, because you're selfish, man. Because you're selfish. Because I love you. Oh my God, it's cinema, disgusting film. I revoke any credibility that you have talking about media anytime I look at your tweets.
I want to say one thing. I want to say one thing just because you brought it up and you reminded me. One of the things that I will absolutely be on Ellie's side about is when she says you did it because you're selfish. Like, it is true that the whole thing is that he lost his daughter, and so he's wanting to replace that. So the other things, like the rules that they have to follow, the protocol that they have to follow for patrol and whatnot, he is so by the book. This is what has to happen for the greater good. But then something like that, he's willing to kill people and save Ellie for his own selfish ambition. So that is something that, like, I can understand her point. He's definitely
there you go.
acting selfishly.
There you go. And that was such a big part of like the discussion that I at least participated in when I came around to playing the first game, and then obviously playing the second. Was the whole, like, if it were my daughter, if it were my fiance, if it were my mom, I don't care what is saving what. I'm taking them off that stretcher. I don't care who it is. Like, or not, I don't care who it is, but I don't care if it's my mom, fiance, sister. I'm taking them off that stretcher if their immunity or creating a oh my gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? Cure. Oh my God, I just like completely blanked. Creating a cure. I don't care how many people it'll save. That is like my fiance, my mom, my sister. So I get it, and I'd be the exact same way, which is why I love the decision that he made. Which is why I also love that they confirmed that there would have been a cure. It adds more to Joel's decision. And now I used to be on the side. It's like, oh, well, who did, like, you never know if there's going to be. I used to be on that side. But I've come to learn that, yeah, there being a possibility to make a cure, but Ellie has to die for it. And Joel doing that only makes Joel's decision to do that hit even harder. So I love that. I love that addition. Again, that came up on where discussing film? The porch scene, right? Okay, so I'm just making sure we're all on track. Yeah, I thought it was literally one of the best episodes in the show, probably second best, and then again probably up there with one of the best episodes in the entire series so far. I liked it a lot. I love the astronaut scene. Again, just it's cinema, man. This is everything that I love out of Joel and Ellie. And I think from this point out, if we see a revenge and bloodthirsty Ellie, because she's on the cusp of Abby's crew, you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm still gonna not really like the past couple episodes, but I will buy in and I'll see where the rest of the season and maybe next season takes us. So I like that a lot, because just seeing her face at the end and just seeing that she's creeping up was really cool. And especially after the flashback, seeing it after that. Another line I like a lot is Ellie telling Joel, I'm not your fucking daughter. I'm your partner. I like that a lot because, Joel sees her as a daughter. He very much wants that father-daughter relationship. But again, after everything that he's done and everything that he's done to Ellie, it's hard for her to fully buy in and be like, oh yeah, like you're my dad, you made a mistake, it's okay, I still love you no matter what. Like it's very hard to just be all like sunshine and rainbows. So to hear her say that and to hear her tell him that, I think it just adds to their relation. Oh my god, my throat was getting dry. I think it just adds to their relationship, and I like it a lot. So yeah, I mean, fantastic episode. It was awesome. That entire porch scene just, had tears in my eyes like a little baby, dude. It was awesome. I loved it. Some of the best acting I've seen on television this year. I loved it, man. Well, I couldn't say anything better. 9 out of 10 for me. Great episode.
Yeah. Yeah, when the thumbnail for this episode, when I showed it to Ben was like, "Oh, a little teaser your thoughts." No, brother. I loved this episode. This episode was the best, one of the best, as Aiden said, in the entire show for me. I thought this was fire. I thought they were firing on all cylinders here. Pedro's performance, Bella's performance, the writing. Fun fact for you, Benji, this was co-written still by Craig Mazin, the showrunner, but also co-written by the director of the game, and it was directed by the director of the game. Okay.
I just recognized his name, so I saw it right away in the credits.
Get him in the studio more, bro. Oh my god, man. Let Neil cook. Holy.
See, but that's the thing for me is like, because it was still, Craig Mazin still did write on this episode too. So it's like, it's the thing for me of like, I don't know which things made it in there. Apparently the dad stuff was Craig's idea. And according to them on the podcast, like it was Craig's idea to have Joel's dad and Tommy's dad in the having that show up. Which I thought it was really good. Really good.
I thought it was fantastic. I didn't even touch on that. I thought that was amazing. And tying it into the end of the episode, I mean, it is just perfect writing. It is the writing that I've missed. It's season 1 writing. It's the writing that I've missed in this show. I mean, gosh, I cannot explain enough how much I loved that addition and how much and how much I love how it tied into the end of the overarching episode. But I wouldn't put it past Craig Mazin to have a wild change like that. Like it worked great, but look at other changes that Craig Mazin has made throughout the season that have just fallen completely flat. So I'm not surprised by that at all.
I do think he's done a lot to change a lot of things around, even in like season 1. And Aiden kind of gave me a TikTok video today because he quote tweeted a tweet of somebody who just said something that I think was stupid. But so I made a TikTok video about their tweet, and people seem to agree with me so far. But that's neither here nor there. We don't need to get in the minutia of that. It's more pertaining to the porch scene. I want to talk about what you're saying, Ben. So you think that the main crux of like why Ellie was, I was going to say disenfranchised, but I don't think that's why she was so distant from Joel was because of like everything that happened on that day? Was that your takeaway from it?
Well, not that day. I mean, they showed many days across the years of different things happening and them slowly becoming distant with one another and just showing like the complexity of their relationship. So like my understanding was, here's part of the logic behind it too. At the start of this season, we were told that they had kind of had a falling off of one another. Their relationship was shaky. This is what we have seen to bridge the gap between season 1 and now this. And yes, I didn't touch on the fact that like they included details about the fireflies and the cure and whatnot, which like that is something definitely to understandably be upset about and lost trust and whatnot. But that didn't feel like the most significant thing. It felt like a buildup of all of the events. Because like most of the episode was about all of these other single events. And that was part of it, but that wasn't like, that didn't seem like the defining moment for me.
I agree with him. I agree with him.
Really?
No. From somebody that hasn't played the game, I can see why you think that. Because think of the scene in the game where Ellie literally confronts Joel about it.
Sure.
And she literally tells him,
And
Like,
yeah,
if you walk
yeah,
away right now, we're done.
yeah, and that's but I agree. But the porch scene also serves as that moment, which I don't like. I don't like that they did that. That's something I don't like
Yeah.
about this episode. But I think that the porch scene also serves as that moment as well for people who haven't played the game.
But that's the thing. It's not. And I saw this tweet earlier, and I kind of got mad at it. But hearing Ben's perspective, I get it a lot more now. It's like, hey, TV show. It was like a dumb quote tweet, rage bait, stupid, like, whatever. It said in quotes, "Hey, TV watcher, here's your weekly adaptation. Here's your weekly live adaptation episode of this video game where subtext is needed, but guess what? You get none of the subtext that's in the game." And at first I thought, this is stupid. This is a dumb tweet. It's another rage bait tweet like the one that I quote tweeted.
Sure, yeah.
And hearing Ben's side, I can see why they think that, because he's right. Like, she looks at the firefly, she sits down and she goes over the questions that she's going to ask him to get the final answers, and it's all implied. And then again, she says it in the porch scene. But
Yeah.
I feel and again, even the scene where she says, no, he lied to Eugene and he shot him in the head, basically saying the same way he lied to me and shot all these people in the head because he's a liar and he's selfish. Yes, but someone that hasn't played the game, that could easily go by them.
Sure,
because-
I think that specific moment of because they try to make it like very poetic in the sense, I don't even know if poetic is the right word there, but when Ellie tells Gail what happened with Eugene, and then she's crying and she turns to Joel and she says, "You swore." They pointed out in the podcast that, like, notice how she said you swore, but when Joel was talking about this, when Joel told Ellie, like, go get the horses, he said, "I promise." You look back to when Ellie at the end of season 1, and they included at the beginning of this season as well, when Ellie straight up asked him if everything he said about the Fireflies is true, swear to me. And then he said, I swear. So that was her, like, so she wasn't mad about the Eugene thing. She was mad about that thing. And because she saw he lied to her with the same face, because that's the thing. It was never confirmed that he could lie, that he was lying about that. Like, she just suspected it. But when he does essentially the same thing, saying, "I promise I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to kill him." And then he does. Then she picked up on the same way that he told that lie. Then that was her revelation to her, like, okay, he 100% lied to me. Now, there's things that I have an issue with too, and I see what you're saying about, like, how TV show watchers, like, that little thing of having it be a different, like, I do think it's good having her say you swore instead of saying you promised, and, like, that is explicit, but, like, you expect somebody to remember, like, that little thing from season 1, at, like, that little moment, and then you try to ham-fist it in by including it at the beginning of season 2, so, like, hey, remember this, but, like, it's a little bit, like, it doesn't do the proper job. I can agree with that, but I do think that throughout the flashbacks that we see this episode, like, the way that Ellie is getting distant, it's very, like, the way they're showing it is very apparent in, like, what she's viewing, like, looking at the fireflies as they're walking away. The only exception that I would give to that is, like, maybe her wanting to move out of the house and getting caught with what's the girlfriend's name? I forgot. Cat. That's her cat. Getting caught with Cat, and Joel kind of, like, being overbearing in that moment. That could lead to maybe some distance as well. But I feel like even afterwards, like, Joel was very, like, he realized he maybe handled that the wrong way, and he went back in and he said, like, I'll help you move into the garage. Let me clear it out though. And, like, I feel like he tried to redeem himself for the most part. Like, he's doing good dad things, I think, throughout all of the flashbacks. Like, he'll make a mistake, but he'll try to make up for it. I think the point was, and maybe you're right, maybe they didn't do it expertly, and maybe, like, Ben is evidence of that. But I don't know. I guess maybe it's, again, yeah, you're probably right. It's skewed because I know what I'm looking for, and, like, someone like Ben doesn't. So
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I think back to her telling him, tell me the truth or we're done. And like how it's so like prevalent there, and then here,
and like they go to the
skip
place in
over
the game
that.
too. Like they go to the hospital.
Yeah.
For context, Ben, this isn't a spoiler now because we've already had the scene. But in the porch scene here, when Ellie is asking him, "This is your last chance to tell me the truth, or we're done." That moment happens in the game, but it happens. Ellie leaves. She runs off to all the way back to that hospital where they were at the end of season 1. And she finds a tape that says a bunch of stuff about how this guy killed everybody, and from one of the surviving members of the hospital, they left it, like one of Abby's crew or something. I think it was actually Nora that left it. This guy killed everybody. No, it was Mel. Sorry. This guy killed everybody, and killed the one person that could make a vaccine out of, or a cure out of that girl, but he's gone in the wind now. And that's when Ellie confronts him, and she says, and because Joel doesn't know that she listened to this, because Joel chases her down to the hospital, and he's like, "You can't leave like that. What the hell?" And if you lie to me one more time, we're done. But then he tells her the truth, and then she still kind of cuts him off. And this is another thing I don't like about this. It's the timing of everything. In the game, that moment happens. Joel tells her the truth so he doesn't lose her, because she threatens to run away to Jackson. Oh yeah, we can actually play the scene for you. I think that'd be good.
Lie to me one more time. I'm gone. You will never see me again. But if you tell me the truth, I'll go back to Jackson. No matter what it is. Just say it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Joel.
Making a vaccine. Would have killed you.
Is this where she breaks down?
This is no, yeah, right after this.
So I stopped them.
Oh, dude, I love that. I love that too, bro. Like, it's what a game. What a game.
It's so like heart-wrenching, dude.
I'm pretty sure Ashley Johnson won Best Actress for this and for the Game Awards. Pretty sure.
Back,
I could be wrong.
but we're done.
Yeah. So then this moment happens, and I think it's like at least a year, maybe 2 years go by, where just distant. They don't talk to each other. They're done. And then the dance happens. Joel steps in. Ellie tells him to screw off, and they have the porch conversation. And then the next day, Joel is killed by Abby. And so I feel like looking at that and like how there's like, I feel like maybe I'm just complaining about like comparing tragedies here. But when I look at the show, not only is it the fact that only 9 months pass from the moment where Ellie stops talking to Joel, and keep in mind, she only stops talking to Joel because she found out that he lied. Doesn't even know what he lied about. Like she still doesn't know what happened at the hospital. She just knows he lied, so she stops talking to him. And then the porch scene happens, and she finds out exactly what he lied about. And in the same conversation that she finds out exactly what he lied about, she then says she wants to take the steps to potentially try forgiving him. And I feel like though that doesn't, it just doesn't work as well. I feel, and I'm really, I hate comparing the two, because I love this porch scene and the one in the show. I don't think it's better. I think that they are both fantastic in their own right, almost level with each other. I like the game one a little bit more. It's a little bit more near and dear to me. But that decision, it rings so hollow to me. Like, why 9 months just doesn't seem like that. Like, it is a decent chunk of time. Don't get me wrong. It's a baby gestating, but like I don't know, bro. There's something missing from that. There's a tragedy that's missing in it. I think that kind of it helped in the game a bit, and so. And also, I just don't know that I buy that she would, once she finds out the truth and like how broken up she is about that, she also then immediately says that she would take the steps. She's going to take the steps to maybe forgive him. And so those are my drawbacks with this scene. I still think it's great, performed well by Pedro and Bella. And I think that in terms of how they've written these characters, because they are different from the games, Joel specifically, and that's why I like in that scene in the game, I like that so much, because Joel in the game, he's so closed off emotionally. He does not talk about things, and he's also a man of like so few words, like when he doesn't have to use so many. So like that's him telling her that. Like, I love that it's literally like 3 things. Making a vaccine would have killed you. Making a vaccine would have killed you, so I stopped them. And that's it. He doesn't say, I killed 20 guys and a doctor and maybe some nurses. He doesn't go into this whole, like, it just, I don't know. It hits so well like that. But that's just me glazing the game. Here, still so well done. And I think that they match that with how they've written Joel since season 1. I said this in my TikTok video today, but like season 1 Joel, we see that he's a lot more willing to be open with his emotions. He talks to Tommy and tells Tommy that he's worried he's going to let Ellie down like he let Sarah down. He tells Ellie that he almost offed himself, he tried to off himself one time. It didn't work, and he was living depressed ever since. But Ellie is the one that cured his depression or healed his depression. And now in season 1, we see a Joel that's willing to see a therapist. I don't think video game Joel would ever see a therapist. So I do think that like the character writing wise, and even with Ellie, I think, and I talked about this last week, Ellie is different too. She's way more fascinated with violence, I think. The character writing, they're making big different changes, and so far with Joel, I think they're sticking to those changes. Last week when I was talking about Ellie, that's one of my main problems, is that I don't think that they're sticking to the Ellie that they had set up in season 1 and even the first little bits of season 2. She's itching to go out on patrol. She wants to go out and be of use in a potentially violent way so bad. Like it just, I don't buy at all that Ellie is barely feeling any sort of way towards Joel after the fact. But now I'm going off on tangents. I know we're still trying to talk about episode 6. I think that it was extremely well done. Overall, I love the Eugene edition because that was not in the game. Eugene was never present. He was already dead and gone by that, and we never saw flashbacks with him. And even like Joel didn't, the only bad thing, the funny thing about it is like the only bad thing that Joel did there in that whole scenario, because I'm with you, Ben, I'm with you on that 100%. Like Joel was following the rules to a T. Eugene wanted to break him because he wanted to see Gale. But like Joel didn't even like just follow the rules. He still like bent them a little bit. Like didn't kill him immediately as soon as Ellie walked away. Took him to this wonderful view, gave him a second to look at it. And then and heartbreakingly, Eugene's like, I don't want her to have my last words. I want her last words. I need to hear what she has to say to me. So great. Such great stuff. Great writing, great performance. And then Joel says, wait, if you really love someone, you can see them wherever you are. You can always see them or something. So good. And then Joel gives him a second. And I love that we don't even hear the gunshot. Dude, such great stuff, man. Such great stuff in this episode. Truly. And then kills him. And like, the only bad thing Joel did is lie to Ellie about it. Like, you could like you should have just you could have done that whole thing, and I think Ellie would have been way more okay with it. I know she was pushing for it, but it's just like, man, that was your downfall, was just the fact that you lied about it. Like, I think you did it, and if Gail knew how he did it, I don't think she'd be that mad. Like, it was just, it's so, I don't know. It's so well done, and I can't, it feels so weird to be glazing the show, I guess, like this after being such a harsh critic of it for the past few weeks. But I mean, I love it. This is how I wanted to feel about the show the whole time. So
yeah, Ben, that's basically the, like the subtext that might be missing, and in the moment. And so that's why it's like, look, when we're laughing, like we're not laughing at what you're saying because it's blasphemous. I'm laughing because I'm like, oh man, like I see like everything is lining up for me, like what I've seen the past couple of days on Twitter versus being someone that has played the games and has seen how it all played out in the games. Which again, we've talked about it before. 3 people that have completely different perspectives on, someone that's obsessed with the game, someone that's played them, is familiar with the story, and someone who this is their first introduction. So I'm like, it's gonna be a good conversation.
Yeah. I can understand where you're coming from, Charlie, and I think if presented differently, I would be like much more where you're at. But for me, at least, like obviously I'm reflecting on the episode now because it's been a couple of days, but thinking about the episode, I don't specifically think to like, oh, the core of this issue is the fact that Joel lied to Ellie. That is not what comes to my mind. It feels like here, we're going to show you this buildup of tension between the two of them, but the crux of it did not feel like it pointed back to what happened to the Fireflies. And if they had...
Well, it's the only thing I'd say. So even on the porch scene when she tells him, like, then I was supposed to die, my life would have effing mattered, but you took that from me. Like, you don't... That... Even with that moment, like, you still... That's still like your takeaway is like, it's not... That's not the crux of it, I guess.
It's a drop in the bucket. Is
really?
I guess, the way that I would put it is it didn't present itself as this, and maybe that's partially because of what Aiden said, and what you said as well, Charlie, just about how she says she's willing to take the steps to forgive him. So, like, to me, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is the pinnacle issue at the very top, the most significant thing. It just feels like they showed us this string of things that was building on each other and causing tension between them, making their relationship more complex between one another. It didn't feel like those things were pointing to or building up to specifically the porch scene. That just felt like a piece of the bigger puzzle. So I think if there was a way that it could have been more directly connected, that like the lack of trust and everything that was built up in the resentment that she held, if that all went back to what happened to the Fireflies, then it would be like, I would understand what you're saying a lot more. But for me, that bridge wasn't built. And you have to kind of like infer that. And with some of the lines that they added, it just doesn't make it as clear that that's exactly what's happening.
Okay. That's fair. Something I also want to add as a bit of context for you, not that this pertains to the episode itself, but I do think there's been some conversation online about people who've played the game and where they placed the porch scene here, because in the game, the porch scene is like the second to last scene in the entire game. it's like the last moment of you realizing, because I guess throughout the entire game you think that Joel and Ellie died like the way you thought that or not Joel and Ellie, sorry, just Joel. The way that Joel dies, you throughout the whole time that you've thought this, I assume as well, that they ended on bad terms and they never got to reconcile or anything like that. And that's part of what makes it so heartbreaking, I guess, as well. So to not have it there at the end of the story, I guess, in the show, some people have been complaining that it kind of ruins it a little bit. I don't know if I agree with that, but it is like in the game it serves so well because it's like the final gut punch of like the entire time you think that they never made up or anything, and like that's bad and that sucks. But it's almost worse when you come to find out that like they were about to start. And she was, after 2 years especially, she was finally about to start, and then the next day he's ripped away from her. So I do think like, I don't think we're going to reach the end of this story, especially with the news today, which is dumb. I don't think we're going to reach the end of the story for a while. So even despite that news, the news I'm referring to for listeners, by the way, is that Craig Mazin, the showrunner, said that he thinks that we might need a season 4. No, sorry, I don't think might. I think he said definitely. We'll definitely need season 4 to finish the Last of Us 2 game. And like, that is baffling to me because like we said last week, Ben, they have been rushing through this story so far. So I don't understand how, unless they just take an astronomical amount of time with season 3, like you can absolutely finish, like just from what you finished here, you can get season 3 done in one season. So, but with that being said, even with if it just ended with season 3, having that come like 2 years after Joel dies and like in real life time, like I don't think the payoff would be as good. I don't think it work as well. So that's my argument for against the people that don't like how the placement of the porch scene here. But
well, in the context now, and obviously you guys have more context than I do. I don't, reflecting back at the beginning of the season and Joel's death in episode 2, I don't think for me so far that putting that early and then now laying the foundation, I don't think it's been to the benefit of the story for me. I think the scene would have hit much harder if we had gotten a couple episodes with Joel and Ellie and the buildup of their relationship, and then, you know, we get to Jackson and then Joel is killed off and say like the 4th or 5th episode or even the end of the season or whatever. Because to me, the last 3 episodes with Ellie and Dina, that feels like it's been stretched out over a long period of time and it's barely been moving for me personally. And that feels like that could have been condensed. And if we could have built up to Joel's death, having more of that context, that would hit harder. Like if I knew, let's say the porch scene, if I knew right before the episode before Joel's death that they've gone through all of this stuff together and that she was holding resentment and couldn't trust him but was willing to try, and there was clearly like a connection and a care to try and work things out, and then she's taken, he is gone and taken away from her, that would hit harder, I think, than just showing it to me, making me go, what are we doing? And then now trying to like lay more of that foundation. It doesn't improve episode 2 for me that much. Like reflecting back on Joel's death, it doesn't hit that much harder for me. And I think it feels like it should. It's supposed to. So I guess what I'm asking is, will there be, and I don't know how much you can answer this, but will there be even more context that ties into this specific storyline that kind of helps it even more? Or is this as devastating as Joel's death gets for Ellie and her taking her revenge?
I think this is as devastating as it gets. I think there's not much else that is actually I don't think there's anything else that's shown that well there's okay, well hold on. There's a multifaceted answer that I can't give you the other half of that Aiden knows about, like the back half of the game, Aiden,
Yeah.
with Ellie's side. And there's a tragic part of it there that all kind of connects to Joel. Not kind of, it very much connects to Joel and what happened. So there is a more tragic part to it, but not like directly because of her and Joel's relationship. So in terms of like her and Joel's relationship, yeah, this is sad as it gets. And I do think it's interesting. I love that you're here and you haven't played the game because like you talking about the order in which they killed Joel and instead of like giving us this relationship and whatnot first and seeing that like I think it goes to show how this story works for that medium, the medium of gaming so much better because like that it happens like this in the game. Like you just see that Joel and Ellie are estranged and 2 hours into the game, Joel is killed. And the reason it works better in the game is you see the girl that kills Joel, and then you play as Ellie, and you're pissed. Like you wanted more time with Joel, like you just had a whole first game with him, and you were expecting to have more Joel and Ellie, classic Joel and Ellie moments, and you didn't get them. This girl ripped him away from you, and now it's your job as the player to playing as Ellie to hunt this girl down and all of her friends that helped her do it. And I think that like that idea, putting yourself in that headspace, in the headspace of Ellie, it works so much better as a game. Like the way that they structured it, having it, I agree with you. If they, with the TV show, if they structured it that way, the way you're talking about with seeing their relationship and how it slowly started to fracture and then how they just barely come back together and then Joel dies and they show you all of that in a very fluid and linear way, in a sense. I think for a TV show and not being able to as easily anyway put yourself in the shoes of the protagonist, I think that I do 100% think that would work better. But for the medium of the game, like I don't know, I think that that structure worked immensely well, and having the porch scene come at the end of the game was like I mentioned earlier, like that final gut punch, and it was just so, I don't know, like cathartic in a way. It's so it's hard to put into words, I guess, but so having it like this and the way that it's shaped out, I'd love to say that it works the same. That's part of the reason why I don't think it's going to be as up to the level of the game for me. But it's still really well done in its own right, and I it does suck to say that like this is how you're experiencing it for the first time, and it's not as enjoyable for you. Even though I know that like some people who played the game played that first, like they didn't enjoy it in the way that it was structured there. Yeah. But I just think that the structure of the game specifically, like that is its biggest benefit in the game, and the way that they have it structured there versus in the TV show here, it's not working as well. And I think it just comes down to the difference in mediums and also the way that the writers operate, because like I think there's a difference in between how Neil Druckmann wants to lay the story out and how Craig wants to lay the story out, and just like their backgrounds as writers. Like I just feel like Craig, he doesn't typically do this kind of non-linear story structure in TV shows, and granted Neil doesn't work on TV shows, so they kind of tried to mesh the best of both worlds, and I don't think it's working as well. And maybe that's one of my big problems with season 2 so far. Because season 1 wasn't structured like this at all. Even in the game, it wasn't structured like that at all either. And season 1 works. You loved it. A lot of people who hadn't played the game loved it. So ultimately, I think like that's probably what it comes down to is the difference in medium.
And honestly, with what you're saying, it gets me even more worried for a season 3 and season 4. Yeah. Like I will say,
You
Yeah,
have
go ahead.
no idea what's coming. Yeah, I will. That's not to say that I'm not trying to. Because I think you're right. I think I worry as well. I'm not trying to prove you wrong when I say that or anything. I just think it's so funny because you have no. I feel like you do not expect where this goes whatsoever.
But like the truth is, at this point, the thing that I cared about in season 1 and want to care about still is Joel and Ellie. And so like if they give me something else to care about, then sure. And obviously, like I've had my theories of things that they could do, like the poetic ending could be Ellie sacrificing herself so that there eventually is a cure. Like that, like I've thought about just like, okay, things that could happen that make sense for the emotional storyline and an ultimate ending to this. I assume that there's a reason they haven't made a part 3. But they haven't given me as much to care about outside of when Joel has been gone. That's been my biggest thing. And so if we're really moving past that and saying, okay, that was the buildup and now he's gone, then I'm like, you got to give me something else for 2 more seasons.
I'm excited to see how you'll react to the finale and as well as upcoming season. Dude, something bums me out about the finale that I just know you're not gonna care about, but like you should. Like if you played in the game, you should care. Like you would have cared in the game. It's just man, that sucks. It sucks. I hate that you're experiencing it this way for the first time. But whatever. What can you do? I guess you could have played the game, but you'll never do that because you suck.
Hey, he has free time now. He's talked all episode
true.
about how much free time.
No gaming. No gaming.
No, you got the Bear to watch. You got to go watch
That's
the
true.
Bear, bro.
I'll just
you
do
gotta-
both. Bear's
you
kind
gotta
of a
look.
background show anyways.
Oh, no.
All right, bro. All
Cut the
right, bro.
episode.
All right, dog. Yeah, that's actually a crazy thing to say. But with that brings us to the end of our episode. Under 2 hours today. Look at us.
Let's go.
Look at us. Hopefully we can continue that trend. But if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell along with it. We sincerely appreciate it because we want to see you again next week. We want to see you every week. Join us. Again, you can leave us a comment on YouTube or some fan mail in whatever podcast listening platform you choose, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Leave us a comment, leave us some fan mail. We will read it aloud every single week whenever we get a new one. Speaking of those podcast listening platforms, if you're on those, please also drop us a rating. We would sincerely appreciate that too. Get us seen by more people. Just scroll in their Spotify feeds for whatever reason they might be doing that. But that'd be cool. That'd be nice. We will see you guys next week with the finale of The Last of Us Season 2 and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Also, maybe some, probably, actually not maybe, some, what is it called? Final Destination. Bloodlines. I was thinking the word final, but I was like, no, I just said Final Reckoning. Like, what am I? But yeah, and some Final Destinations Bloodlines thoughts potentially as well. So thank you guys so much. We sincerely appreciate each and every one of you listeners and watchers, and we hope to see you again in the future. Adios.
Peace.
Sayonara.